I am sorry that this video is so late. I was on a hunting trip and I just didn't have a chance to watch the episode until now. Usually I say, come on, hit the like button. As my punishment, you can avoid the like button. I thought this was an interesting episode. There's really two parts of it. One is the lighter side, which is Christine's relationship with David and how that evolved. And then there's the darkness that is Kody's interaction with Meri.
You're really, really special to me.
That's what I loved after 1 week. You, however, you were fast.
As was expected, Christine was depicted as a 14-year-old girl in her interactions with David. She is head over heels in love, and the relationship is progressing at lightning speed.
It's just saying, oh, this is going really fast. It's not telling us to do. It's not us telling you to stop or slow down.
Yeah. Oh, good, because I wouldn't.
And of course, Christine's kids don't love her talking about making out with David and being all, having all this PDA or whatever. And of course, Christine doesn't care.
We kiss and we hug in front of our kids. It's a whole new world for them. And David and I just don't care. And our kids are just going to have to get used to it.
I think I, like most of the audience, looks at it and goes, this is wonderful for her. I'm so happy she found someone that loves her. I'm so happy she found someone that she can engage with romantically. Like, it feels like she found, the puzzle piece that fits, that she needed. That's the right answer, and I genuinely believe that. But because this is a psychology channel, because the purpose of this channel is to help people understand the underlying psychological mechanisms that are at play, I think it's important to talk about the concept of progression bias in relationships. The idea is that we are all very, very anxious about being alone, about being isolated. And you can imagine for Christine in her 50s, it's very scary to feel like you may not find a partner. So the data would say that when we enter the dating world, we think that we have this long list of ideal characteristics, kind of things that we're not going to compromise about. I want someone that makes this kind of money, that has this kind of job, that looks a certain way, that has this kind of temperament, that whatever, right? We have these traits that we're looking for. But when we actually enter the dating world, we are very quick to abandon that list in favor of somebody that gives us unconditional love and affection. It's like that saying, one in the hand is better than two in the bush. When we enter the dating world, we will take the first thing that seems reasonable if that person loves us and shows us affection, instead of waiting for that perfect fit. And if you listen to the way that Christine talks about the relationship with David, you can see that she made some compromises because he was such a good fit. He was her soulmate.
It just feels right.
I'm 50. I know what I want. I know what I had before. This feels totally different. And I dated enough guys in the past year to know what I'm looking for.
When I left Kody, I decided I wanted to find someone who was bald and had tattoos and drove a motorcycle and stuff.
The reality is it may be less about the soulmate piece and more about the unconditional affection, unchecked affection that David offered her. So what happens is we engage in relationships initially because we feel like there's not really that much of a sacrifice. What's wrong with going on a couple of dates with this person, and they love me so much, they're showing me so much affection, let's do it. And then we end up feeling like we are investing in that relationship. Emotional investment, sometimes financial investment, that there's a time investment, right? The more time and energy we put into a relationship, the relationship is progressing. And because we're anxious about being alone, there is fear of dropping the relationship. So oftentimes people start off in a relationship with someone who's not a great fit, but we just allow the relationship to roll forward because there's so much to lose if we abandon it. Again, back to that anxiety. And this was talked about very clearly in an article published in the Journal of Social Psychology back in 2021 by Samantha Joel and Jeff MacDonald. Fantastic article. I will link it below. And that brings us to the darker conversation between Kody and Meri. Meri, who I just feel like is Kody's punching bag, and Kody, who, it's like every time I watch him, I am struck by how chaotic his thinking is. In this discussion, he makes the argument that Meri is at fault for him not loving her.
Blame yourself if I don't love you, okay? When I'm in love with a woman, that's her fault. So what happens if I'm not in love with a woman? Is that just my fault?
And his logic, which he's confident in, by the way, is the Sister Wives fandom blames Robin for Kody loving her. Therefore, they should blame Meri for Kody not loving her. And I think that Kody feels like that's very sound thinking. But it's not. It's very stupid thinking. Nobody is mad. Nobody's frustrated with Robin for making Kody love her. They're frustrated with Robin for maneuvering and manipulating Kody so that he ignored the other sister wives. Kody has to separate what he wants and what he feels from his behaviors. Nobody is angry with Kody about his feelings. They are very upset with Kody about his inability to treat people fairly. I hate Kody's statement that he didn't abandon Meri because he was willing to fake it with her. And it's like the behavior you're engaging in here, Kody, is to mistreat her, to isolate her, but keep calling her your wife. That's not treating her fairly, that's protecting you. And until now, I didn't understand why Kody was so fearful of getting divorced. But he says it here.
You don't get to be in plural marriage, with a leadership. Leadership will never allow you to marry again if you're discarding wives. Well, I was in a terrible relationships, but wasn't willing to discard them.
If he loses a wife, in his faith, he is then no longer seen as a suitable husband for multiple wives. Which tells you this whole thing about him not liking the church is not about him having a debate about religious doctrine. It's about how he's being appraised. Kody can't stand being negatively appraised. And so what he's going to do is hold on to Meri, let her waste her entire life in a loveless marriage so that he has the prospect eventually of finding a new wife. It's just very clear that that was a horrific relationship that Kody maintained. He was worried about how Meri would react, meaning would she speak negatively about him? He was worried about how the church would react, meaning would they prevent him from having future wives? He was worried about the financial implications, meaning what does he do with Meri's land? All of those things which are external to Meri's actual emotional position. So it made me happy at the end of the episode when Meri said, "I wish you, Kody, knew what a wonderful person I am." I'm happy for Meri that she's in a place where she can say that. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below.